Should we show the garden?
Hey guys, welcome back to Strand Farm, where we grow independent together. In this video, we're going to be kind of just going through the garden. It's going to be different clips from different dates. And right here, we're looking at mid-April. These poor little peppers started out rough. Out of I guess this is my third year growing peppers from seed. These are the sorriest looking ones I've grown. Nevertheless, we were able to get all these peppers into the ground, and they're not yellow anymore. I will just say that. They're doing a lot better. And I learned this year that I can probably stand to wait to plant my peppers. Maybe not the 1st of February, but maybe kind of towards the middle or end of February would be a better time to start my peppers. Also, I would recommend not getting injured in the middle of gardening season to where you're not able to take care of your seedlings, because they will turn yellow. Probably not necessary, but I did sprinkle some organic fertilizer that I've got left over from our temporary garden that we were building several years ago.
Hey, is that a kale?
Yeah. God made worms for a reason.
I feel like it's already exponentially better than last year. I mean, look at our strawberry patch, for example. I wonder if any of our subscribers remember that rock and what its purpose is.
Alright, now it's May 1st, and we're down here in the Tomatoes Trench getting some tomatoes in the ground. The soil that's in there with that tomato is black. That was the seed starting mix that I was experimenting with that was heavy biochar. I wanted to just see what would happen. And my plant did not die. So we will continue to see how this plant grows.
Was this tomato damaged at all?
I think this was one of the ones that got left outside. I don't have them marked, but and this one was small, so I think this is one of the ones that got left outside.
What kind of tomato is it?
This is a black creme tomato.
And now we're just going to do this the rest of the way up.
Yeah. This garden sure is turning out. We're really pleased with it. It's been a long journey, a slow journey, a hard journey to get to where we are with this garden. But man, it's been worth it. It's crazy to think that this garden wasn't here 2 years ago. Now we're getting towards the end of May. Here's some icicle radishes that I'm going to harvest. And speaking of eating, and James likes to eat the whole thing. I do too. I don't mind the greens in a salad, but he'll just eat literally the whole thing. He'll roll it up and then he'll just eat it. What kind of radishes do y'all like to eat? Let us know down in the comments. I'm really interested in branching out and trying a few more different radishes maybe next year. One way that I have been wanting to try radishes that I haven't done yet is roasting them in the oven. I've roasted a lot of other root vegetables, and we really like that. Unfortunately, these radishes, we eat them so quickly that there aren't anything left.
Alright, here's what we got so far. Now let's go to this other patch. These radishes are a little smaller. But I've learned that I do need to go ahead and pick them before they get big because there's these little bugs that are getting in there. Only in this pink variety and the purple variety. The icicle radishes I'm not having much of an issue with, which I find interesting. Alright, so here's what we've got so far from this bed. And some of these are not quite ready yet, so I healed up the ones that needed it. This tomato plant's doing really good. These are mostly red onions right here. We'll just do a quick tour of this bed. These onions right here are doing really good. I'm actually going to come through and give them a little bit of a haircut because I want to use a little bit of these tops for something, which will also help them from flopping over like this. Get them healed back up. We had some gnarly rain.
You'll see the rain gauge later on in this video.
These are the radishes that we were just harvesting, the onions that we were just now looking at, one of our cherry tomato plants right there. Over here in the middle we've got a volunteer chickweed that I'm just letting kind of hang around for now because I'm using it to feed the animals with. And then behind it I've got the single black hollyhock. If y'all saw my last video, y'all probably saw that. But anyway, there it is. It's doing okay. Then on beside that, we've got more onions. These is mostly white onions. And then there's garlics mixed up in there as well. Volunteer garlics from the garlics that we planted 2 years ago. Down in front here, I've just got a whole bunch of little baby onions coming up. I had a whole bunch of old onion seeds, and I just wanted to see if anything was going to grow for me. I also put some bunching onions in there. And I forgot what I put right here, but it didn't do anything. So I think I'm just gonna, I've got some stuff in the bed over to my left, one of our raised beds, that for some reason 2 years in a row now is not doing well. So anyway, I'm gonna try to get as much stuff out of there as possible. So I may move some of those items over here just so we can rework that bed. Anyway, moving along. And then at the end of this bed is more radishes, and we just harvested a few out of there. Back on this corner is another cherry tomato. And then along this back edge here, I think I have more daikon radish right here. And then I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but all through here is zinnias. We got zinnias and we got mushrooms just chilling. And this bed is crazy. I don't even like to do this with my hands, but it's just full of worms. Here, let me move. I'll see if I can show you. Oh yeah. Do you see all the worm castings? It kind of looks like coffee grounds, but they're all in there. I don't want to stick my hands in there. It's kind of freaky. Oh yes. Alright, I'm gonna heal these onions up and give them haircuts really quick.
When I first harvested these onion tops, I thought I was going to freeze dry them, but what I actually ended up doing was dicing them up, and then we ate them over the course of 2 or 3 days on top of scrambled eggs and cheeseburgers with fries, and it was delicious. So I'll be doing that more in the future.
These look so good. I've never tried these before, so I'm excited about those. It smells so good.
And now let's take a peek around our early June garden.
So right here you can see Tomatoes Trench, and we've got a whole bunch of different types of tomatoes growing. Most of them are doing really well. Some of them, like this one's a little stunted, just a little smaller than the others. That's okay, we'll just let them be for now. So I've got tomatoes growing along the front, and this bed over here is the same, basically. So we've got tomatoes going along in the front, along the back here, every about 1.5 to 2 foot. Got pumpkins and different squashes, and I didn't label them because I just didn't. So we'll see what happens. And then in the middle of these two tomatialis trenches, we've got our walkway. Intention is to trellis these tomatoes from here with string, and we'll show you how we're going to do that. This tomato right here, let me go around, is huge. This bed is the same width, but it is a little bit shorter. And again, it's full of tomatoes, and we're going to trellis those right here.
I also filled the bed anywhere I felt like I had a little extra space with green beans, cucumbers, which are also vining, and then along the front I've got some bush beans that are growing, and basil and strawberries as well.
So when I buried these tomatoes several weeks ago, I buried them very deep up the stem because tomatoes can grow roots from their stem pretty much anywhere. They're a vining plant. Because I buried them so deep, a lot of their lower leaves were touching the soil. So you can see, like right here, I've been coming through and just pinching off anything that's really low and just pinching those off. And since it's been raining really hard like it has, we've been getting a lot of splash up on the bottoms of the lower leaves. And I want to try to prevent that. See, like this guy's touching the ground, so he'll get cut. But this has gotten so thick that I can't even pinch it with my hand. I've never grown tomatoes with stalks this thick. And look at this one here. This one is getting ready to set fruit. We were down there. We looked at all these tomatoes, and now we're up here. And we've got this little flower bed. This was just, the wood was yay long, and we thought, well shoot, let's just put a board on the end and make a little small bed. This bed is full of little perennials. They're just now germinating. They're coming up all over despite getting beat up by rain. Some of them had already started germinating when we got all that rain. That was just like a hard rain. They're coming up. Alright, now let's go look at the rows. Should we show them the rows, Miss? Tomatialis trench. Then we got a small row of potatoes. Those were planted 1st of April. This row's all kinds of random stuff. I've had to move stuff from the other bed. This is some kind of squash or zucchini. We've got kale that got moved on both sides of that. Radishes. Celery down here. Looks likes to eat the grass too. And then over here we've got a row of peppers. All down through there. And then I just put these calendulas right here from the other bed. And then along this trench, I can't remember what I put there. Probably radishes. And then at the end of that row is volunteer wheat. And then the next row up, we've got a bunch of peas along our trellis. And this area is kind of in transition. I've got a bunch of beets and radishes that I had planted. And the beets are still growing, but the radishes we've pretty much harvested. Good morning, Loki. We're doing a garden tour. So we've got 4 tomatoes along here, and in between them I have calendula and tiny basil. More tomatoes. Excuse me. I transplanted some lettuces right here from my other bed, as well as this pepper, as well as these calendula. And then here's another, at the end of each of these beds down here I've got zucchini and squash. And up here we've got a whole bunch of green beans all the way down. And I decided I wanted to just go ahead and do another row, so I did another row along this whole entire bed. So now this bed is full of green beans and dill. That's a lot of water. I was hoping to give y'all a nice tour of my lettuce station, but as you can see, the weather had other plans. Yikes. Totally smashed. Let's go look at the other lettuce. I had just transplanted all these right before the rain, thinking that the rain would be good to get them watered in, but I'd say they're watered in, wouldn't you? What are you doing, roly-poly? Are you getting dry? Are you getting dry? You're wet. Ooh-wee. Oh. We gotta have that. Whoa, that's kind of a weird effect. I'm still trying to learn this camera. Hang on one second. That's cool looking. There we go. That's better. Yum. This is gonna be good. And some of these radishes aren't doing anything because they're getting smashed, so we'll just use the greens and give the rest to the rabbits. This tatsoi is going to seed like crazy. It's taking over. I'll come over here and get some more of these greens. This is going to be a good salad.
You probably heard me mention earlier in the video that I've been transplanting plants out, and it's because this bed needs more amending. This past year, we added less compost and more dirt to this bed only as an experiment. Our conclusion is that the plants aren't thriving, so we're going to flip the bed and then we'll update y'all on down the road. Until then, we just want to say thank you so much for watching. We appreciate all of you who take the time to leave us comments of encouragement. I realize this was a very broad garden tour, so if you have more specific questions, leave them in the comments below. Have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video.